Hey, what's going on? My name is Rob, otherwise known as HeroVision. Today we're going to be talking about the incredible Fifine K688. Now, Fifine reached out to me a couple of weeks ago to review this guy right here. This is the Tank 3. Now, I loved this microphone, and this is normally what is here in my setup, but I'm actually starting a podcast, and I needed a couple of microphones and a whole setup, really, which Fifine were incredibly kind and able to provide, but I needed two mics that were relatively inexpensive and yet had an incredible tone, not just audio quality, but actual tones that match the voices of the co-host. And I feel like this microphone is that answer. It is the solution I've been looking for. One of the main draws to the K688 and pretty much all microphones by Fifine is the fact that they are so inexpensive. This microphone is $72. This one here is $80. And if you'd like to see a comparison of the two, I'll be happy to make it. But when you're finished with this video, maybe go and check out this one as well. Another massive draw to the K688, much like the Tank 3, is the fact that this is not only an XLR microphone, which is something, a whole world that I'm just starting to kind of understand and get into, but it also has a USB input. So if you want a simple plug and play experience, you have that. And because it's USB-C, you could literally take this mic and plug it into your iPhone, your iPad, something like that, and have an on-the-go setup ready and waiting for you, which is actually kind of what we're thinking of doing with the podcast. All of the audio you're listening to right now has come through the XLR input. I think that the quality is incredible. One of the main issues that I had with this microphone is the fact that the plosives weren't dealt with very well. So I actually ended up getting this guy right here, a little muff, to go on top, and that kind of mitigated some of those issues. But this is incredible when it comes to plosives. Ice, ice, icicle, pop, pop, popsicle, testing the microphone. It's so cool. Just so you know, there's no EQ settings outside of what this microphone comes with. It's just plugged in from this into my interface, and that's it. Now, I'll be honest about something, okay? In all of the videos that I do, when I'm reviewing products, I look for problems. I look for something to complain about because I don't want it to seem like a biased review or something like that, right? There needs to be an issue with it. I cannot find one with this mic, right? The build quality is insane. The microphone itself is metal. I think this sort of, the shock mount is plastic, but it's incredibly strong. Even the knobs at the button, which by the way, we'll get into in a minute, the knobs feel great. The button on top, which I thought was an actual button, isn't. It's a touch capacitive thing that mutes the microphone when it's on USB-C mode. Audio monitoring is great. It's all in real time. There is nothing negative that I can say about this, and it annoys me because I feel like there should be something wrong. At this price point, when you compare it to all the big microphones, the ones that are all super popular, you expect something to be wrong with it. I can't find anything, and it really bugs me. Anyway, let's switch over from XLR mode to USB, and then you can kind of hear that comparison when you switch. Okay, so we're now in USB-C mode, and as you can see, the light on here has come on, which means we can touch it and it will mute the microphone. I can just talk a normal sentence. There you go. So that works really, really well. The knob at the button actually changes the level of gain, so we can turn that all the way up if you want to. If we move the microphone around about 2 hand widths away from me, this is a max volume. You can hear that the audio still sounds pretty good, but there is a lot of noise there. And this is around about 20% volume, again, through USB-C mode. There's another knob just above that, and that changes the volume of the audio monitoring. There is a little 3.5mm jack, which is what these, you notice that I've actually switched headphones. These headphones are actually made by Fifine as well. They sent me the whole kit for the podcast. I love you. You're amazing. Thank you. And the knob on top changes the output volume for your headphones. Now, if you're thinking that this could be a biased review because Fifine have sent me the products, this is not a paid endorsement. The microphone has honestly blown me away at the level of quality, particularly at this price point. The headphones, however, we're going to be talking about in a separate video, and I have a couple of issues with. Stay tuned for that one. It's not a big deal, but it's just there's some things I want to address. So my reviews definitely aren't biased. All of my thoughts and opinions are my own. Let me know what you think sounds better though, the USB mode or the XLR. XLR audio can be determined by an interface, and my interface is pretty outdated, so I'm curious as to see what you think is the better sounding of the two. When I set up the podcast, I'm going to be doing everything through USB-C to make things easier down the road. Let me know what you think. So that pretty much wraps up the experience with this microphone. The rest is probably down to you to determine which you think sounds better and works better for your workflow. Again, if you want a comparison between this guy and this one, I'll make like one. The main difference is, honestly, if you're looking for a budget microphone, is that this isn't as great as Plosive's as this one, but this doesn't have as much background noise and gain issues and things like that. There's also the difference in tone and things like that. I feel like this works better for my voice because naturally I have a deep-ish kind of voice going on already, so it kind of levels it out, whereas this tends to add a little bit more bass. So if you're a little bit higher pitched, this may work better for you. But for me, I personally think that this one actually sounds better. Again, for my voice. I'll leave links to both Fine's website in the description and Amazon to make life a little bit easier for you. And as a little side note, if you guys actually want to hear how good this microphone can be when it's all cleaned up, because this is just going straight into OBS and then edited, thrown up online. No EQ stuff, no filters. I'm actually starting a brand new channel. Link to that is in the description. It's called Hero Voice. It's kind of a storytelling thing for people who want to listen to something when they go to sleep. May not be your thing, but all of those videos, all that audio is recorded using this, and the audio is actually being mastered a lot better than just the raw stuff you're hearing now. So if you do voice acting and things like that, it may give you a better example of how good this mic can be if it's all done properly rather than just a straight, simple recording. I'm sorry that there isn't anything negative to talk about with this microphone. I have not found anything, and I've been using it for like a week and a half, so I'm not going to make something up to try and make this seem unbiased. This is genuinely one of the best microphones I have ever tried. Once again, particularly at this price point. That's something that I have to keep reiterating, because something for $72 shouldn't be this good. There should be bits hanging off it. There should be things wobbling and weird little interference, and there's nothing. Man, I don't know what to tell you. I love your faces. Thank you so much for watching today's video. You're amazing, you're beautiful, and I will catch you in the next one.